everybody. Welcome to another episode of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. It is Francis, and with me once again, I have Gothdad, Dusty Gannon, back from the crypt to come here and talk dad stuff, talk politics, talk all things military, maybe a little bit too. Dusty, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I've had a pretty chill day today. I went to the gym, which is always wonderful experience. I spent way too long. I always do my cardio on a Stairmaster because I hate myself. And that is one way to prove that you despise your being is to just spend 25 minutes on that thing on a high rate of speed. But yeah, today's pretty cool. I'm prepping a lot of stuff for tomorrow. We've got our 10th annual Goth prom, which we do this thing every summer where we sort of throw the prom that we all never got to have here in Athens, Georgia. And since this is our 10th year, we're doing it at a really big venue and kind of pulling out all the stops. So yeah, we've got that. And, I'm just kind of hanging out at the house. I haven't been touring much at all this year. So I'm just kind of here in this in this studio room a lot, which is good and bad. There's pros and cons to it.
Oh, I have that problem. I've been working from home for a decade now. More than a decade. And it for a long period of time, every time I left the house, I came back sick somehow because I have just no immunities. But so now every time my wife and kid go out, they go to Costco and I immediately have to go and have them breathe on me. It's give me your antibodies, whatever you're fighting, breathe them on me so that I don't get whatever nastiness is at the local Costco or Walmart or wherever they ended up.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. I was actually just in Brooklyn, New York this last weekend doing a DJ gig for a music festival. And the whole time, every single time, I always take public transport in New York because it's so easy and it's so cheap. And every single time I got on the train, I was like, yep, I'm going to be dying. But somehow I've made it. Apparently I'm okay. So that's great.
The subway's just that rickety up there now?
Yeah. I mean, it's just I think it just always hits me how many people are going in and just straight up coughing onto the fucking handrails and stuff. And you're just come on, dude. But I guess I think New Yorkers are sturdy people. You have to be resilient to live in that city. It's not easy to live there.
Right. The reason, the coughing on every handrail is what makes New York so strong. Everybody thinks it's it's our pride in the city. It's the five boroughs. No, it's just millions of germs are stuck in the door frame trying to get into your body right now.
Yeah. Everything is trying to kill you always. And I mean, shit, I literally watched somebody get stabbed. That was crazy. And it was so weird because I got off the train. I was staying in Manhattan and I got off the train in Brooklyn to go find the load-in doors at this venue because I've never been to this venue before. And I'm looking around and the load-in instructions weren't the most clear ever. And I was kind of just where the hell is it? And then I run into this situation where these two dudes are doing the macho bullshit dance of fuck you, nah, fuck you. And it's just and I think there's something wrong with me because of all the things that I've been through, between the military and the fire department, where I just if I run into something like that, I'm just kind of okay, whatever.
What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, it was just kind of all right. And then I saw the dude's he had his knife kind of behind him, and I'm oh god damn it, dude! What? And it's because it's a Sunday evening, and I'm what the fuck is this? And then very New York style. So the guy walks down, his girlfriend pulls him away, and they walk down almost 2 blocks, and the guy's the other dude's yeah, that's what I fucking thought, you fucking pussy. From all the way down. This dude comes running back and just goes, shwa, 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 3 quick jabs at this dude. And I thought he got him pretty good. I was oh, fuck. All right. And then my paramedic brain was God damn it, now I got to do this. But the dude was wearing really, really baggy clothes, and it just didn't connect properly. But the dude takes off again, and the guy's yeah, I'm not even fucking bleeding. What? And I'm so I kind of look at him. I'm hey man, I used to be a paramedic for a long time, you should probably check your body, because sometimes like people, if you don't have an arterial bleed, like sometimes your body shunts blood, and then like 20 minutes later, you're just pouring blood. And it's so weird how that works sometimes. So he's like, really? And I'm like, yes, dude. So he like pulls up his like hoodie and his like baggy jeans and shit. And he's like, hey, I'm okay. And I was like, and then in perfect New York form, there's a bartender that is like on a break in the next door bar. He's like smoking a cigarette behind this like gated door. And he's like, I can't fucking believe this. This is Sunday. It's not even dark yet. It's just like, this is amazing. But yeah, so New York is wild.
Incredible city. Incredible city.
I love it there. I there was a time in my life where I really wanted to live there, and that time has passed. Mm-hmm. It is a place for young and sturdy people, and I am neither anymore.
You gotta get into New York while you're young. I don't think you can be in your 40s and be like, I'm gonna go move to Upper Man. I don't think you can do that.
No, unless you're like a multi-millionaire or something, like maybe then. But even then, it's like you still have to navigate that city, and it is for as much as I love it, and maybe I also do love it because of this, because it is fucked up and crazy and dangerous to some degree.
It's a very American city.
Yes.
Nowhere else can you be so American, because every corner has a different nationality on it somewhere. Like, not just in the people, but in the storefronts. But also you might just get stabbed at 4:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Exactly.
Or not, actually, in this guy's case. He's just mouthing off and, hey.
Sometimes you just get lucky. All in a New York minute, I guess, right? As they say.
So, Dusty, you've been touring, and I know you've been going around the country and doing talks. And we've had you on, and you mentioned the military. And for those of you who haven't heard our previous conversations, you're an infantry officer, you were a firefighter, you're a paramedic, and currently you're wearing pink earphones with little light up cat ears on it.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Which is the exact kind of masculinity that I think this podcast really leans into. It's just, I'm all about my favorite whenever I see like shooting competitions, whenever I see the guys go out, and I mean not just like that we're going to shoot 100 meters, the ones who are running through trenches, who have to do exercises and then run it. I always love when I see the guys dressed up as French maids show up. Fantastic.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Because they run that shit. They run it hard. Because if you can do that in heels and a dress, that's hardcore right there.
Yeah. When I was in the Army, I really wasn't open about my bisexuality because I hadn't quite figured it out yet, so it wasn't like and it doesn't really matter. So I was like, whatever. Sure. Like it didn't have any bearing over my like professional ability to be a fucking infantry officer or prior enlisted. Like none of that was important.
Right. As long as you're not, for any officer, as long as you're not fucking the enlisted, that's all that matters.
That's the big thing.
Don't fuck the enlisted.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you are going to do it outside of your command in another MOS and like do it away, So, but for me, like what I always did find incredibly funny about like particularly combat arms is that like it is gay chicken every day. It's like it is the most homoerotic experience without actually like crossing the precipice of like literal gay sex, which is, I mean, for the most part, sometimes it does. But I just think it's like so funny how so many people have this image of like what infantry soldiers and or any combat arms soldier is like. And I'm like, I don't think you have no idea like how incredibly like Spartan, like Roman homoeroticism occurs in that world. And it's great.
It's so funny that there's this like push to romanticize the Romans and romanticize the Spartans. And it's like, okay, you guys are doing so much of it, but you're not fucking each other, which is the natural release you need. Because you're all just assholes at the moment. Yes. And you're all playing these weird gay chicken games. And if like half of you would just be like, okay, now we're all going to have sex with each other, this would work out perfectly. Perfect infantry right there.
Right.
And if you don't want to, that's fine as well.
Right.
But there's just, there's very obviously a lot of it there. And that's fine. And, I will always say, I have met the smartest and the dumbest soldiers, and they were both in the infantry.
Yes, there is. It is a binary. There is no like mediocre, like middle ground,
right?
As far as like intellect or like ability,
there's no dental hygienists.
Yeah. You're either hot shit or you're like a complete shit bag. Like it is nowhere in between.
You can be stupid and be a good soldier. Like if somebody can give you a command and you do the command and you don't talk back about it and then you just go home and drink, that's fine. That's all you need. And you can be dumb as shit to do that. But I have there were plenty of just and that dynamic too when you sit them all together, because the infantry also is this kind of melting pot of I mean it is a very specific kind of group of people, but it is a weird melting pot of America to see people who are like, I'm very smart and things have been very easy for me on the intelligence side, so I want to see if I can do something manly. I want to prove myself to myself.
Yes.
And then you got the people who are like, well, they said I was too dumb to drive trucks. And I'm like, well,
that's like,
fantastic.
Well, can you hold this weapon and engage and hit a target at 200 meters? Yes. Perfect. Amazing. Yeah. Come on in.
So you also got arrested. What's that all about?
Yeah, that was my first time ever, surprisingly to myself. Like there are many, many, many times in my life where I'm like, how did I not get arrested for that? But so I did it. I was involved in a direct action civil disobedience protest with About Face, which is the group that I'm a part of. That is basically, it started out as like Veterans Against the Iraq War, that group that was sort of fomented in the early aughts. And then it sort of evolved, encompassing also Afghanistan, but now sort of all, imperialist type warfare that this country loves to get into.
Turns out we got a lot of wars going on. So it's just kind of lump up. They're all bad. There's not a good war that we're engaged in.
There's not a single damn one. So basically, this is a very diverse, broadly diverse across political spectrums, across religions, colors, creeds, etc., sexual orientations, every possible imaginable cohort of people. But the whole thing is this group of veterans, and it's all post 9/11 veterans, so people that have been very much so like in the most prescient wars of our past, using their experience and their status as a veteran to advocate for anti-imperialism and anti sort of military industrial complex notions of these like forever wars continuing. And with us seeing, this war in Iran that was like, it's only 2 weeks and now it's fucking 2 months and now it's like however long. And then, you have Trump saying, oh, well, Vietnam took 10 years. And like, it's like all these just insane ramblings of people that have institutionalized incompetence. But the real repercussion of that is just thousands and thousands of people are dying, and we're spending billions of dollars on something that has no clear, definable task and purpose. There is no mission objective that is clear and definable. There are no sort of
there's no
guidelines.
mission statement.
There's no mission statement, right?
There's no win scenario. And this is, for you and me, and I'm sure for everybody else in the About Face group, it's so frustrating because it's like, we just did this, guys. We literally just did this 10 years ago. Yeah. And it was a fuck up then.
It reminds me of that meme of James Franco where he's like crying and it's like, just one more time, bro. Like, just come with us. Like, just one more war. Like, we'll get this one. I swear to God, we'll nail it.
We're finally going to pacify the Middle East. Just one more war, man.
And it's so crazy to me, like here, just seeing this like vicious, rabid, cult-like mentality discourse anytime I've posted anything about like that action or just anti-war whatever. There's just all of these people, and I'm sure some of them are bots, but a lot of them aren't. And it's all these like MAGA types that are just like, well, you should like you lost friends in Iraq and Afghanistan, like since you were in so long. And it's like, yeah. And it's like, well, those munitions were provided by the Iranians. So like, you should be supporting this. And there's just this, like, it is the most reductive and stupid rhetoric of any war I have ever seen. Like, when I look back now with this sort of clear-mindedness of retrospect and experience, I can look at Iraq and particularly to me in Afghanistan and be like, this is why this was stupid. And I can look back at what people were saying about those wars and why we needed to continue to conduct those wars. And it's like, it's insane. But like, there was at least some, like,
they tried.
There was some fundamental truths, like we were attacked and we needed to respond. Okay, like I got that. But this shit is just blatantly and flagrantly stupid. Like there's just nothing about it where I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. There is not one single thing about this war that is a reasonable point. So yeah, we did this action it basically culminated at the Gannon building, in the rotunda of the Gannon building where a lot of the congressional reps offices are. And about 130 people were involved. Most of them were veterans. The only non-veterans were military family members that most of them had, military family that's like deployed or about to deploy. And so 66 of us took an arrest. We kind of knew that going in, that it was going to be like a situation, there were different cohorts and groups of people that were like you're going to be arrested, you're not going to be arrested, whatever. So I agreed to take the arrest, and the whole point is to get eyeballs on like the Capitol Police arresting veterans in, we wore like our combat tops, and we obfuscated them in jackets and stuff so that, you don't just see like over 100 veterans like walking into the Gannon building, like with all this shit on. And then when the signal was given, we all kind of, doffed it and did our thing, got into a formation. But it was I think it was a very powerful message. The one thing that was really striking to me about that action, and I've never seen this from my own experience, I've only like kind of conjecturally heard about this online, and I mean it's something we all hear about, but there was effectively zero mainstream media, like left or right leaning, zero coverage of this in the States. It was all independent media sources online and massive coverage in the international sphere. Like I was on Al Jazeera, which is, I love that. That makes me very happy. So, it was just kind of a crazy thing, but I think what it really did also, though, is a lot of veterans did see it because it did make the rounds through the veteran online ecosystem. And I think a lot of people are like, I want to be involved in that. And that's great because like we need more people to stand up and like use like exactly what I was saying, like use your experience, use your status as a veteran, because it's the only thing that will like cut through the bullshit. It might not cut through the bullshit for everybody, but for a lot of people, they'll go, well, they know.
Right. And it does, like, it's, I guess, fortuitous, silver lining to some storm clouds here that we have so many young veterans who have fought in this and know that the wars were bullshit. Like, I don't think, and I would be surprised if I came across anybody who was an aughts veteran, right? From, if you deployed between 01 and 2010 or 2012 post surge, that you would come away from that being like, yes, that was a good idea. Of that was something that we should have done. And then when you see it happening again, and then you see all these people, as you said, getting up there and saying, and being young and being like, we did this 10 years ago.
Right.
And it was a failure then. And yeah, I think that does help out a lot to that,
right.
to giving other veterans the permission to say, maybe they weren't telling me the truth. And I think that's something that some veterans might struggle with is they've been lying to you. They were lying to you. And
no, absolutely. And one thing that I've been thinking about quite a lot lately, especially since like after the action and everything, was that had we gone to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan now, we lost like, what was it, 7,000, I think, cumulatively.
About that.
We would have lost 70,000 because what people don't realize is that when you send conventional forces now into a fight and you're sending this massive, overwhelming force, what we've learned from Ukraine is that a $200 FPV drone is going to blow up a $10 million tank, and it's going to incinerate the crew instantly.
Sure. I just think back to all of the bomb makers in Afghanistan in '05 who are just like, man, one day I'll be able to fly a bomb over them. You know, because it's always, you know, and that was the IEDs were always constantly evolving. And I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, I wouldn't join the army for many reasons, but certainly because I don't want my face to be circulated around the internet in a shock of horror from a GoPro attached to an exploding drone. Like, that is, all of that sounds horrifying to me, and I see it all the time. And yeah, conventional forces now, and we don't have any, like, as we've seen, we have no countermeasures for this. We can't stop it. Like, they've already learned, all right, don't make them wireless. Done. They're wired, and now we can't fuck with them. And that's it. That's all you got.
I mean, it is so difficult to combat it because the speed, the sort of decentralization of it doesn't need command authority. It doesn't need this robust system to approve a strike. Like, it can just be a 16-year-old uwu girl with cat ears that will fucking murk your entire squad with like one FPV drone. Like, it's just crazy. And we you know, people like Pete Hegseth is grossly unqualified to be the Secretary of War. Like, it's so fucking disgusting that I could even say that. But like, if you listen to all their rhetoric and everything that they say about this war, it is this, like, it kind of reminds me of like the hustle culture bros, where it's like positive mental attitude, never admit defeat, never even like talk about your weaknesses. You overcome everything. It's that like bullshit lying to yourself, like hyper pseudo masculine like mindset. And like, they won't even acknowledge the setbacks. And there is not a single fucking military operation in history that just went flawlessly without like a single hiccup, not a single fucking one. So these people, they're playing this game of like, well, we've decimated their military, which isn't true. We've decimated their missile systems, not true. We've done all this. We're blockading the blockade. It's all bullshit. And it's leading towards escalation on a scale that is like unimaginable. And as soon as we like actually invade any significant landmass in that country, thousands of Americans are coming home in bags. Thousands. Like, and they're gonna lie. They're gonna lie about that. They're not gonna tell everybody about that.
Yeah, that's I will say that the one thing that I do see this administration holding on, somebody is telling them, if you send them in ground troops, they're fucked. Like, they're not coming back. Yeah. I regret to inform all of our American listeners that your military is not that great. We're pretty good. We're good at a lot of things. We're good at, like, if you need to get a Burger King on the other side of the world, we can do that.
Got it. Yeah.
On it. Or anything else. Like, logistically, we have such a great system going on. But when it comes to the bang bang part, we tend to step on our own dicks a lot. And it's not going to be any better when you've got a bunch of people who think that, you know, and I'm going to tell you, I've been watching, I don't know if you ever watched the Sharp movies, Richard Sharp. It's a book series that's kind of a historical fiction, but it's this guy who is in the British Army during the Napoleonic Wars. And he's an officer, he's a rogue, he's brash, he's loud and everything, you know, came up through the ranks. But like every officer, every British officer in there, like all the ones that you're supposed to think like, wow, this guy's an idiot, they're all exactly like this. They're all these brash bravado, like, no, we're just going to charge straight at the guns. Like, that's what bravery is. We charge at the guns and then they run out of bullets. But we have more people than they have bullets, right? That's going to work out. And that works with a musket barrage sometimes, but it's not going to work in Iran, I don't think.
No, there's no way that the tactics, like, and you know this as well as I do, and probably a significant number of your listeners know this, but it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. The US military, especially the Army, is a like massive bureaucracy, and tactics don't just shift. There is not a doctrinal fluidity that is institutionalized in our military. It is very, very, very rigid. There are very many things that the military did in Afghanistan where it was like, why the fuck are we doing this? Well, it's doctrine and this is what we do. What? I mean, obviously, when you get down to like platoon level or I'd say company and below, like there becomes a lot more fluidity. But with big picture shit, when you're maneuvering battalions or regiments, like that granular detail gets thrown out the fucking window, and they just start moving things on the acetate, and it just becomes insanity. And it's I just there is no situation where this benefits anybody. That's the worst part of it. It's like
it's going to benefit, like, it's going to benefit some people. It's not going to be you, me, or the Iranians.
Right.
But
well, the billionaires.
There's a lot of people on Polymarket who are just fucking cleaning up right now. So
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
There are some like staffers in the fucking Pentagon that are just clearing the charts on Polymarket and Kalshi, and it's disgusting.
It is. You did the that one rally. Did you do any other rallies while you were going around?
Well, I've gone to a couple like speaking rallies. Like I did one at and these weren't like direct action disobedience things. These were more just like straight up rallies.
Yeah.
But I did one in DC, and then I went to another one in DC. I spoke at one, and then I just attended another. I've been to DC like 3 times in the last year, and I think I'm fucking done with that place. Like, I don't want to go back there ever again, man.
Do you wait a minute? So you love New York? What is it about? And I understand, like, now DC probably looks gross because of all of the pictures of the president all over, but overall, pretty nice city.
No,
you know, in better times.
The city itself is great, and I love the people there, and I genuinely enjoy DC as a city. It's just that thing where you're like, I'm in the Death Star, like I'm in Berlin 1939. Like, it just feels gross.
I would never feel like fully safe in Washington DC. Like, at any point a cruise missile could hit here, right? Like, I know it's infinitesimal. I know it's very small, but y'all got more of a chance of getting hit one by one than me.
Oh yeah,
and I live in a real shooty city too, so I'd be more worried of like, oh, we're gonna go to DC. I'm worried about the violence there. It's like, you're not gonna get mugged. Like, no, I'm just worried about a tomahawk hitting me.
Yeah. Seriously, I thought about that like very much so when I was there. I was like, we're technically in the middle of another war, and I am in the place where
you're in the
if they're
first
going to do
man.
something, this is going to be the place. So
hopefully it's big enough that it's just a little bit of heat and then nothing else after that.
Yeah.
All right, Dusty. So I know that you have been shifting a little bit in your music too. So kind of tell us about the projects you got going on musically.
Yeah. So last year, because of basically what it really boiled down to is like a former member didn't agree to the fact that all of the original members, her included, basically gave up ownership of the band and all of its band assets for me to keep running it, because I basically did all the work. So there was like a sort of a legal back and forth, and it like essentially bled me dry. So instead of continuing to defend something that was worth not a lot of money anyway, I just like, all right, well, I'm done. So you can have 100% of nothing. So I did that, and that sucked because, I mean, I do music full time. So touring was like my entire income. So basically, I've been just kind of living off my squirreled away savings this year, which is steadily dwindling. But I've started a new band, and it's called Dusty Gannon and the Agonal Gasps, or just Agonal Gasps for colloquially. And it's Agonal Gasps is the medical term for dying breath. So it's very bright and cheery music. That's my running joke.
That's what we've come to know from Dusty Gannon.
Yeah. It's going to be happy, fun time stuff. But
lots of violins and peppy guitars, sure.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's I think for people that were like fans of Vision Video, they'll find a bit of familiarity to it, but it's a very different band sonically as well. Like this band like gave me the opportunity to sort of look at music again and go, okay, well, I definitely still want to make like post-punk or gothy music or whatever, but like, what about that music got you into it? Like, what do I love about that music? What like, get back to the roots of it. And a lot of it for me was like that hazy time in between punk and goth like in the late 70s, early 80s, where it was like it was just piss and vinegar and it was dirty and it was trashy and it was like all inspired by like horror movies and like very political and just like really raw and rough around the edges. So I've kind of been going for that. Like this new band is way more guitar driven. It's way more rock and roll. I think Vision Video was a pretty like radio friendly band. It was very accessible. So this is a lot more just like grabbing you by the shirt and yelling into your face kind of stuff.
It is nice to kind of have that chance to reinvent yourself, because I had the same thing with the podcast once. You know, we kind of reached that point. It was like neither of us have been in the military for years, and we don't really we didn't want to always constantly be talking about the military.
Yeah.
But like, you know, when you've already got infrastructure there, it makes it really easy to say, all right, we're just going to wipe this away. I already have the skeleton of something to build, so I'm gonna build something else. I'm gonna do something else, and I know for me it was really refreshing. I know nobody maybe it would have been had better circumstances to allow you to do something like this, but I do like that. It's like, okay, well, if we're just going to get rid of that, I don't want to recreate that. I want to create something different, because how long was Vision Video around for? Like, you've been doing that for years at this point.
Yeah, I started that band in technically 2017, I guess it was. So it was only like a year after I got back from the Army. From active Army. I was still in the reserves when I started it. And so it was a good, like solid, like 7, 8 years of doing that. And I think the biggest thing for me was like, you do have the infrastructure there. It's like, it's very much so like you're not starting fully from scratch, and a lot of things that you didn't know, like about the music industry. Like when I went into the Vision Video, I never thought it was going to be like my job. I never thought I would get to a place where it would be big enough to even like tour regularly. Like it was just kind of like, it was just my outlet for all this like chaos in my brain from the military. And then at that time I was like working as a firefighter and paramedic. So to me, it was like irrelevant whether it became like financially successful or anything. I wasn't even thinking about that. So I had to learn a shit ton of stuff from 2017 onwards. And so, yeah, like I didn't start from zero, but it does hurt, like realizing that you've lost a lot of the sort of groundwork stuff that I built. Like a lot of people don't realize that, like, writing the songs and performing the songs is like the fun part. And that's like 10% of being a full-time professional musician. The 90% of it is like really boring background stuff where you're like, building email lists to email, to fans and let them know about tours, and like coordinating merch stuff and coordinating with booking agents and doing the taxes and like all the boring shit. And like, Vision Video had a really robust like administrative foundation to it. It was very easy, and I had kind of a direct line to all the people that were interested in it. I could just go on to, for example, we had 70,000 followers on Spotify, and I don't really normally care about numbers, but the nice thing about that is like it's linked to this thing called Bands in Town. So whenever I would post to Bands in Town our tour dates, it will automatically tell people that listen to that band regularly, hey, this band is playing near you in the next couple weeks, and here's a ticket link, and it's free. So I don't have that anymore, and it fucking sucks. But I'm building it, and I'm getting back to it, and I know what I'm doing, and I wasted a lot of time doing dumb shit that didn't affect anything on the first go around. And it's like, at the end of the day, as long as I'm like getting by and I'm able to make stuff that's still like that appeases that need for me to create, but also is like enjoyable for the end person that listens to it, then it's a success. Like I and I don't know how long I'll do it full time. Like it might only be a couple years. It might be like for the rest of my working life. I don't know, but I'm just trying to like enjoy the process again. And it is enjoyable. It's still like writing music is still fun. it can be incredibly frustrating, but it's still fun. And I still find joy, like putting stuff out and hearing like people like, oh, I love this. This is great. It's just a really satisfying experience.
Yeah. My wife and I have often talked about one of the greatest, things, one of the greatest skills that an entrepreneur can have, because you are an entrepreneur, you're running your own business, is the ability to pivot.
Yes.
When something happens, can you say, okay, I can't do that, but I can do this. But it's not just because something can't be done. Sometimes you hit a point where it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something else. And can you still pivot and make those changes? And because the most important thing is, especially, and my wife and I are going to do a much longer episode about this eventually, but because you are in the same kind of place, when you turn your art into a job, it can be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
But as long as you still enjoy the art process, that's the big part. And that makes all the other parts something that you can deal with. And my wife and I are lucky because she does she can crochet. She makes a lot of really great things that we sell online. I do some design things. And we've kind of built something up off of that. But if there's something like, hey, this didn't work anymore, that's fine. Let's try this thing. Let's move over here. Last year we did this. I don't want to do that this year. Let's do something else this year. And that ability to make sure that like you are still enjoying what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. Because if you're not enjoying it, there's just no point in pushing yourself, because there are so many frustrations being like an independent business owner where you're not confined to the system, because you've got to do all this extra shit. You don't have anybody like other than yourself to make things happen. So if you're not enjoying like that process, then it's just not worth it, and you might as well go do something else. I think a lot of musicians get to a place where musicians are particular about this too, where they really truly believe that they have to like quote unquote make it. And they don't even know what that means. They just sort of like, they imagine themselves like, yeah, I'm playing music full time and I'm making money off of it, and I'm not like struggling to get by. And I'm like, that doesn't, like, nobody does that anymore. Like it is, even when you are doing well, like it is always feast or famine, and you will invariably have to continuously struggle, because there's just not this like massive amount of money in music anymore. And regardless of that, though, like besides that, it doesn't like give veracity to your success or not. Like, to me, success is, did I make something that I feel is true to me? Did I do it to the best of my ability? And did it come through clearly? And did it resonate with people? Yes, check. Okay. And then economically, can I sustain myself and my wife and our cats? Yes, check. That's it. Like, to me, it's like, that's awesome. That is incredible. Like, if you can do that, it's like infinitely rare. But I think people just have these like preconceived notions of just how it has to be. And I'm like, no, like, and you know what? Even if you don't get there, though, if that's not your definition, like it could just be like playing a tour, like, and doing, like, having anybody listen to it and enjoy it. That's success. And I think artists are we are all way too tough on ourselves about this stuff. And we need to be like way more forgiving, because in this like sort of postmodern end stage capitalist hellscape that we exist in, it's like, art is resistance, and it's worth creating whether you're making money off of it or not.
Oh, yeah. Like, you can definitely just do art because it's fun. I have plenty of things that are just something I made and I hung up in my own, and it's not great, but I like it, and that's all that really matters. And whether, and I'm with you. Sometimes you share it, sometimes maybe you don't. But and I have I sell things online, but I don't ever want an employee. I don't ever want, like, I might employ my child at some point,
of course,
here's $20 to help me pack these orders or something. But like, making it for me, when it comes to the podcast, and am I staying up on, my bills? Am I ahead on my debt? And am I enjoying what I'm doing? Do I, am I selling something that I'm proud to sell, that I'm excited to sell, that I think other people would like? Am I putting out a podcast that I think people would like? Of course I am. That's why I have Dusty Gannon on today.
Hey, there you go.
So, Dusty, where can people find you now?
So most of my socials that were Vision Video banned, they've, I owned all of that, fortunately. So I just changed everything to It's Gothdad. So ITSGOTHDAD. You can find me doing all of I've kind of moved to the content of that, just showing off my life and all the weird shit that I do, and a lot of my Warhammer shit and just nerd stuff.
I've been enjoying the Warhammer pictures.
Yeah, it's I try not to commodify my hobbies, because again, it changes if you do that. So it's more like me just being adult show and tell. Here's the cool miniature. Here's my tiny plastic war dollies that I fucking love.
And we on the show have always been huge advocates. I had another interview with a guy who makes stop motion animation videos of various wars, when he makes his own tanks in the wood shop and everything.
Nice.
And that's every veteran needs some kind of post-military hobby. That isn't racism, coffee, or drinking. You gotta,
exactly.
It's always been you get out, if you're retiring from the military, you get a care package that's here's 50 random vinyl records. You're going to be the record guy. You're going to be a Warhammer guy. You're going to be a Dungeons and Dragons guy. We need to placate and kind of cut that toxic masculinity out immediately and just be no, you have to play Dungeons and Dragons 5e now. You have to play woke Dungeons and Dragons. That's just how it is now.
Sorry, you don't get to decide. Here it is. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's especially when I was an infantry officer, I spent so much time reading tactical reference, not just doctrine, but historical, just really nerdy, tactical, strategic stuff.
You read Clausewitz, didn't you?
Oh, I got it right over here. It's terrible. It's some of it's okay, but some of it's just bad. I'm that is some bougie bullshit that's just going to get people killed in mass. But I'm more of a Sun Tzu kind of guy. But I had all this knowledge, and getting back into wargaming, it's amazing because I can use obviously it doesn't all translate, but some of it does, flanking and screening and doing all these things that are oh shit, this is kind of the same thing, except you have laser guns and demons and fucking crazy shit happening. But
the infantry tactics will always be infantry tactics, no matter it changes a little bit, but when you've got 12 guys with guns can fuck something up if you know what you're doing with them.
Whether you're invading Tehran or clashing on the planet of Armageddon in the glory of the Emperor. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's the
same vibe. One of them is not a war crime, though.
Right, exactly.
Here's the thing. You can do violent imperialism on the Warhammer table.
Yes.
Everybody, if you do violent imperialism, if you subjugate your enemies and do a genocide in Warhammer 40K, everybody will pat you on the back.
Everybody loves it.
When you do it in real life, though, not cool.
Not cool. And honestly, when I was a kid, I got into Warhammer in second edition in the late 90s. And I didn't really comprehend it, but and as I was in high school and into college and whatnot, and in the army, I got away from playing the actual tabletop game because I just didn't have time, and it takes a ton of time to be in that hobby. But I always kept up with the lore, and I've read a million of these books and all this stuff, and I love the world because it really is essentially 80s anti-Thatcherist satire of fascist policy of neoconservatism and neoliberalism, just ruining the world through imperialism. So it's all a satire, and that's obviously very lost on most people. People are humans good, kill all the bad people, kill all the Xenos. It's
my undying emperor who we have to throw souls into it. Can I be one of those souls? It's and it's fun. It's fine when it's in Warhammer, but then it's just, for us, it's just a fat guy eating a Big Mac saying the most insane gobbledygook that nobody understands.
Exactly.
And yet, throw yourselves into the pyre, guys. Sure.
Right. Absolutely. So it's given me a really good outlet, but I digress. You can find me. It's Gothdad for all my kind of lifestyle or whatever you want to call it stuff. It's more just like me and the cats and my wife and all the crazy shit we do. And for music specifically, Agonal Gasps, it's Agonal Gasps. And that's on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But yeah, I've also agonalgasps.com. That's like kind of a hub of like links and merch and blah, 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 blah.
Well, we will have all of those links down below. You all should absolutely be following Gothdad because he's always got some great goth advice for all of his little bats, all of the baby bats out there.
Absolutely.
I think that's how we found you. I think my wife, you showed up in her Instagram reel years ago, and she's like, he was in the Army. You have to get him on your podcast. And so here it is, third time. We're back around for it again. It's like every year I got to check in on Dusty and
absolutely
give a safe space for the veterans who are just like, I mean, the Army's bad, but I also kind of had fun. So what do I do with that? And you come on my show.
Let me plug one last thing. This will be announcing in the next week here. It's already, I kind of soft announced it earlier, but I'll have links and stuff for this on the website within a week. I'm going to be heading back out on the first tour ever for Agonal Gasps. It'll be a European tour. So those of you that are Oconus, you can get over to Germany. And I'll be playing a few shows in Germany and France and Spain and all over the place. But that'll be in November, like all the way through the November into early December. And that'll be with the Chameleons. I'll be opening for my favorite band again. They are absolute masters. They are like the most underrated post-punk band of the 80s. Like really great band from Manchester, England. And it's going to be a really incredible show. So come check it out.
All right. Well, Dusty, thank you so much for coming on. We will definitely bring you on again in the future. And hopefully you'll be doing another tour. I missed you when you came through St. Louis. I think it's because I was working like that night. And it was like, you go on at 9:30. And I'm sorry, Dusty, but bedtime is 10.
Trust me. If I'm not on tour, it's hard for me to go out of my house because I'm like, I'm good. So yeah, trust me. I totally understand, but I'll get you on the next one for sure.
Right.
And next time I hopefully we'll have at least one or two more arrests under my record by then too.
Yeah. You got to really boost those numbers. I'll get a couple under mine too. I'm sure my wife will love that.
Oh, we can get arrested together in St. Louis.
We'll be handcuffed together. It'll be quite a moment. Well, Dusty, thank you so much for coming on, and everybody, we will talk to you next week.
See ya.